Hello all you wonderful lightworkers out there. It's me, Lori Spagna, to talk with you today about something that is very relevant for those of us elevating into and aligning with the fifth dimensional reality and beyond, and that is your four most important assets. Your four most important assets. That's what we're going to discuss today. So what are your four most important assets in the fifth dimensional reality? So we know in the third dimensional reality, our assets are things like houses and money and 401k, and maybe we have some other assets of materialistic possessions. We may even include family and friends as our assets, but they tend to be things of a material realm. Now, in the fifth dimensional reality, our assets, and this is actually true in 3D as well, but of course in 3D we don't know that, or maybe we're not in touch with it. But in the fifth dimensional reality, we have four major assets. And here they are, very simple. Number one, our brain. Our brain. So we can understand in third dimensional reality, there are all kinds of people, we might call them associated with chronic negativity networks, CNN, chronic negativity media outlets, the old paradigm structures and systems, banking institutions, pharmaceutical drug institutions, of course, schooling systems. They're trying to hijack the brain, in a sense, the way we think, what we think about, what we pay attention to, right? Not to blame it, that's just, in order to be and participate in 3D, you have to give away your brain to someone else. News, media, schooling systems, educational systems, doctors, pharmaceutical industries, pharmaceutical drug industry. You're giving your brain to them. That's your asset. In 5D, you have to completely own your asset of your brain. You have to own that this is my greatest asset, and I have to use all of my brain, which really includes, in a sense, the mind, the awareness. In 5D, nothing gets to come into this awareness because it's your greatest asset without you being, oh, I could do a whole nother video on this, your own gatekeeper, your gatekeeper. So your gatekeeper for your number one asset is your mind, your brain, which aren't the same thing. Of course, they're not the same thing, but let's just, for the purposes of staying focused on the four assets, you, the gatekeeper, must say, is this really and truly serving me in benevolent and beneficial ways on my path and alignment with 5D, with the 5D reality and beyond? So, you the gatekeeper, right? For your own mind, for your own consciousness, and with your own awareness. How is this serving me? How is this? And is it really serving me in a benevolent and beneficial way? Is this aligned with my highest trajectory, my personal best, my personal well-being? That becomes the message of the gatekeeper that is monitoring and or making sure that your number one asset is being cared for. It's not your number one, it's the number one of four, because they're all four equally, pretty much equally important. Okay, so we could go on with that, but let's get to the second asset, because there's other important aspects of that number one asset and how to make sure your number one asset, like educating yourself, your brain, investing in your, what do we do in 3D? We invest in our assets and we use our assets to grow for us. That's the same. How will you invest in your consciousness, your mind? What will you give your awareness and consciousness to, right? This is part of elevating out of 3D. Because if we give our consciousness to chronic negativity network or anything else in that realm, we get anchored in, sucked into 3D, right? So our number one asset, meaning our brain and our awareness that we use with our brain and our mind, and we, the gatekeeper, must recognize this is our number one asset, right? What we give our attention to, what we give our awareness to, how we educate ourselves in a new way, because the old schooling system doesn't educate people. It teaches people to be zombies mostly, right? To be trapped in a third dimensional paradigm. So, not to say bad things, that's the reality we were in. We're cleaning ourselves up and we're elevating ourselves out of that, right? No wrongness, just an old paradigm that's collapsing. Number 2, what's your second most important and valuable asset in 5D? And I know you already know this. It's the heart center. So the heart center, of course, is magnetically providing love and sharing love, peace, well-being, energetically expanding and sharing love and peace, joy, and other frequencies that are emotionally, we could call them the emotional, but really it's the awareness that this is the magnetic of what we attract and emanate from us. We emanate and vibrate at the frequency of the heart. And that frequency in 5D we know must be love, peace, and joy-based. Yes? Simple, right? Easy. So that's our second most important resource. And of course we know that as we strengthen and develop that heart muscle, which is all that muscle of the heart, we build our brain. There is brain matter in the heart. We know that scientifically. We know that from the Institute of Heart Math, that we have brain matter in the heart, and as we expand and drop into our heart and strengthen that, the brain matter in the heart gets developed. So we develop all kinds of new gifts that are heart coherent based with a 5th dimensional paradigm. So we have to really practice expanding, developing, using that heart and vibrating in harmony with 5th dimensional frequencies that are heart-based. Love, compassion, etc. Kindness, understanding, etc. Right? Those are all tools of the brain and the heart, nonetheless. That's our second most important asset. Yeah? Okay. That also means that by using that asset wisely, we will not allow ourselves to be in positions or places or with people, to the best of our ability, who would be hurtful and harmful to our detriment, right? This is why when we know this asset is so strong and we know we have such great capacity to share and expand love and peace, that means others who are not sharing that, we can radiate it, but we will take care of ourselves to recognize that might not be for our highest and best. That's heart consciousness, right? And we put ourselves in coherent states with 5th dimensional frequencies based in love and peace, etc. Yes? Okay, hope that makes sense. Third asset. Third asset, and I know you know it, it is your gut. Your gut, and your gut is my gut instinct, right? That is real. Our guts have brain matter as well. So as we learn to follow and expand our gut guidance, that's an aspect of our own intuitive guidance. It is one of our most important aspects. Now, what happens in the 3D world? We give all of our gut knowing away, and we eat, in the 3rd dimensional paradigm, every food, genetically modified foods and artificial foods, artificial substances, foods out of boxes, dead food. It's shutting down the gut. Candida, sugar, oh my God, all sugar. All white sugar, even brown sugar, it's all genetically modified, so it shuts down the gut and blocks this. By the way, these same kinds of things will block the brain, 3rd eye area, right? That'll shut down your first asset. So we have to be very clean with what we put into our bodies. Green juices, all are natural, organic. When we purchase organic foods, we are telling our paradigm, we are saying, we want all natural, organic, healthy living. We're using our gut, and we're saying my gut is growing, strengthening, strong, right? So this is your 3rd asset, and we start following our intuitive gut. Like if your gut is tightening or contracting, it might be saying, nope, not that way. If your gut's like, oh yeah, that feels good, that's right. That's your gut knowledge, your gut guidance, and learning to develop and strengthen that asset is incredibly important because it is your number 3 asset. And of course, as we do that, the brain matter, literally brain matter in the gut also develops. So, of course, that's connected to what we ingest into our bodies, but it's also about using our bodies as healthy tools of navigation out of 3D into 5D and throughout our whole journey, right? Developing that 3rd asset. Okay, here comes 4th asset, and you probably know what that is too. 4th asset. What is it? Anyone guess? I want you to put your guesses into the comments sections below, because I love to hear from you guys. But here it is. Ready? Your DNA. It's your DNA. Of course it's your DNA, because everything that you need, including all the solutions to all the world's problems and all the issues that you have, okay, it's a combination of connecting all these major aspects of your consciousness, but it's stored in your DNA. It's stored in the dormant DNA that's waiting for you to activate, awaken, and unlock it and decode it. It's like got codes in there for your living in 5D and beyond. So as you awaken and activate the dormant DNA and you start to access all this unconscious knowing that's coded into your DNA like treasure kits, treasure toolboxes, you know, it's just waiting for you. And it's right inside of you. And much as they try in the old paradigm to take your DNA from you, they cannot decode it. Not really. Not the way you can. So it's waiting there for you. So that is your fourth big asset. And I hope you enjoy this. And if you would like to know more about awakening your consciousness, activating these assets, opening up your psychic mind, your higher intelligence, opening up your empathic nature, your heart sensitivity, following your inner guidance, your gut, and certainly activating your dormant DNA, please head over to LoriSpagna.com, where you will get tons of juicy information and content. Join the community. You'll get great ebooks and gifted DNA activations, stuff that will really help you and your animals too, by the way. And please also like and subscribe the video and leave comments in the section below, because I'd love to hear from you, and it definitely does inspire the other videos that are on their way to come. So with that, okay, you guys, love you so much. I hope this has been helpful to you. Until next time, bye-bye.